I've rejoined Toastmasters, and I recommend it for you as well. My name is Bruce Rule. I'm a writer and editor, and I basically help my clients with anything they need as far as effective communication on social media, in reports, in articles, speeches, and I recently put out a book called Heartfelt Goodbye, How to Write and Deliver the Eulogy Your Loved One Deserves. But I also teach public speaking workshops, and I have some private clients as well. And one of the things that I always recommend is to join Toastmasters. For those of you who don't know what Toastmasters is, it's an international organization with chapters all around the world where you are basically given the opportunity to practice speaking in public and getting feedback on your presentations. Now, what they do is they have meetings. Some clubs meet once a week, some every other week, some I think only once a month. Not sure about that. The one I used to belong to in New Jersey met 4 times a month. The one I've just joined down in Delaware meets twice a month. And what's interesting about it is it's a meeting that actually brings together a diverse group of people, and they focus on 3 different segments every meeting. And the segments focus on different skills for you to practice. Now, obviously, if it's a public speaking organization, the one segment is going to be public speaking, right? Where you get up and you make a presentation. And the presentations are usually 5 to 6 minutes long, although there are various time limits. And they do put a time limit on it. They say, you know, you got to get up there, you got to speak for this many minutes, and then we'll give you feedback on it. And it's a very useful segment for a lot of people because it gets them over their fear of getting up and speaking in public. But there are 2 other segments to a Toastmasters meeting, both of which focus on different skills, but both of which are focused on skills that are very important. The second segment, and the one that I think is actually most helpful, is the extemporaneously speaking segment. And what that is they'll call people up out of the audience and they'll just ask them a random question. You know, tell us about your last vacation, or, you know, if you had a superpower, what superpower would you have? And you're expected to talk for 1 or 2 minutes on whatever the question happened to be. And I thought that was far more useful because, let's face it, how often are you going to have a 5 to 7 minute presentation? Maybe regularly at work, right? But otherwise, not often. But how often are you going to be asked a question that you weren't prepared for? Probably daily, right? So I think the extemporaneous section part of a Toastmasters meeting is probably the most useful for a lot of people because they'll have to get over the idea of having something prepared. You get asked a question, you have to think quickly, you have to react, you have to speak clearly. The third segment of a Toastmasters meeting is the evaluation segment. And this is kind of helpful because what happens is people will get up and give speeches, and then other people will get up and do an evaluation of that speech. Here's what you did right. Here's something that really was effective. Here's something you could have done better. And the best evaluators present those evaluations so that it's not just helpful for that particular speaker, it's helpful for everybody in the group. The reason why I say this is also helpful for you, though, if you are doing an evaluation, is you actually have to pay attention to what somebody's saying. You can't zone out, you can't just daydream. You actually have to pay attention and you have to analyze what they're doing right and what they could be doing better. And that is a skill. It is a very good skill for somebody who wants to improve in public speaking, because one of the ways you improve is to watch other people and you adopt the things that they do well, right? So you have the 3 segments. You have a public speech, you have extemporaneous speaking, you have evaluations. Now, obviously, you don't do all 3 of them at every meeting. You usually only do one. But those things will help you become a more well-rounded public speaker. Now, I said I rejoined Toastmasters. I was in Toastmasters for a long time before the pandemic. Then the pandemic hit, and a lot of people ended up leaving Toastmasters because you can't really go in person. They were trying to do Zoom calls, and I do a lot of Zoom calls for my work anyway, so I wasn't getting quite the value of it. But you know, public speaking is like any other skill. You've got to practice it. You've got to practice it at every opportunity. And I'm a writer and an editor, and I have a home office. I don't get to practice public speaking a lot. I don't have a weekly presentation at work or anything. So I rejoined so that I can start speaking again regularly in front of a group of people. I always take every opportunity to speak, but in this case, I wanted something that I could do regularly because I do have some workshops coming up this year. And well, I'd like to practice a little bit of those. And also, I feel kind of weird about recommending other people join Toastmasters when I'm not in it. There are other public speaking courses out there. Dale Carnegie runs a very nice one. I think it's much more expensive than Toastmasters. I think Toastmasters is a very, very inexpensive way of improving your public speaking and getting practice at it. The even better is Toastmasters will sometimes have corporate chapters. If you're in a big enough company, your company might actually have a Toastmasters organization, in which case then they usually pay the fee. It doesn't even cost you anything to join Toastmasters if it's part of a company chapter. And I really think it's worthwhile. I think everybody can benefit from improving their public speaking. And that's why I highly recommend Toastmasters. What do you think? Are you thinking about joining Toastmasters? Do you have any experience at Toastmasters? I'm curious to hear your experience in it and whether or not you would recommend Toastmasters. And please like and share this video because I think it will help other people. I don't get a commission or anything from Toastmasters. I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm really just doing it because I think it's a useful tool for anybody who wants to improve their public speaking and effective communication skills. And please subscribe. YouTube likes that. I like that. And until next week, take care.